We'll start, of course, with the library, because that's the thing that makes or breaks a console, and in 3 years, the PS5 has already built up an impressive lineup of games, even if that does come with some caveats, which we'll get into in a bit. Where first-party games are concerned, the PS5 started off strong with games like Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Astro's Playroom, and Demon's Souls upon its release. In 2021, the console delivered more acclaimed releases like Returnal and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. 2022 was an even stronger year, bringing the trio of Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, and Ragnarok. And though 2023 has been a lighter year in terms of first-party releases, we have seen the launch of the excellent Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And of course, there's been no shortage of excellent third-party games to dive into either. Elden Ring, It Takes Two, Sifu, Deathloop, Dead Space, Street Fighter 6, Alan Wake 2, and that's just scratching the surface. From the day it released right up to this point, the PS5 has enjoyed a steady stream of major releases that have rightly drawn praise from all corners, with many turning out to be legitimate all-time greats. It's helped, of course, that 2023 has been a particularly spectacular year, to the extent that it may go down as one of the biggest and best releases in gaming history for game releases. But there's that caveat we mentioned earlier, and it's one that's been brought up quite often for not just the PS5, but the entire console generation as a whole, and that's that we haven't seen a great many games properly leveraging the more powerful hardware that's now available to developers. Over the course of the past 3 years, the vast majority of major releases from big and small developers alike have been cross-gen titles. Only a handful of notable games, most of which have released in the last year, have been exclusive to current-gen hardware, which means that 3 years into the PS5's life, we're only just beginning to see games that aren't being held back by significantly less powerful hardware. At the end of the day, does that take away from the strength of the PS5's library? Probably not. If you're a PS5 owner, you probably don't care that the many games you've enjoyed on the console in the early years of its life are also playable on last-gen hardware. Even so, the hope is that cross-gen releases will become much less common as we move forward, something that, thankfully enough, does seem to be happening. After all, several major games that have released for PS5 this year, like Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, to name just a few, did not release on PS4.